They told you nothing major had changed, just the ship. Then your folio shows a higher daily service charge than your booking email. Late night free pizza is suddenly $9 plus delivery, and the drink package costs more on board than it did last week in the app. Tiny changes, big bills. Most cruisers shrug and pay because it's policy. Savvy cruisers plan around quiet changes, lock old rates before they move, skip new fees, and book smarter so surprises don't pile up. Call it the 2026 policy shift no one explained at checkout, or how a $0 checkbox became a $600 problem. Here's the plan. I'm breaking down 7 quiet update lines that won't headline in ads, with real examples by line, the footnotes that matter, and clear do this instead moves you can apply today. Crew aren't the villain here. Systems, apps, and terms are doing the heavy lifting in the background. Pro tip, save everything. Keep your booking PDFs, app screenshots, and menu photos from embarkation. Policy pages for gratuities, service charges, and room service spell out the rules. But onboard execution can drift. If a charge doesn't match what you saved, you have proof at guest services. We'll keep things practical and respectful, show where policy says one thing but onboard reality says another, and flag when families, solos, or accessibility needs change the calculus. You'll see exactly where looks cheaper now, quietly costs more later, and what to do instead. The last change is the costliest, and it starts long before you sail. At checkout, first, here's why you can trust this playbook and what's in it for you. In 60 seconds, I'll show you the proof and payoff. Stick around. Payoff, promise, and credibility. Why this matters now. In 2026, the small print isn't small anymore. Dynamic fees, app-first reservations, and tighter refund rules are quietly reshaping what's included and when you pay. The payoff for you is simple. Avoid $300 and $900 in surprise costs. Keep flexibility when plans shift. And pick the line that matches how you cruise, not how the ad reads. I track policy updates across Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Norwegian, MSC Princess, and Celebrity, and I flag differences on Disney, Virgin, and Holland America when they matter. I cross-check menus, terms, and CDC VSP notes, and I pressure test the advice with travel advisors and cruiser communities, so it reflects what happens on board, not just what the brochure says. Here's how I'll guide you. We'll run every change through a clear lens. Common mistake versus pro move. Then layer in personal nuance for families, solos, accessibility needs, and sweet enclaves like the Haven, Yacht Club, and the Retreat. When prices or policies are cited, they'll come from the line's policy pages, app screens, or current menus so you can verify them yourself. Ready to save money without killing the fun? Let's set scope so you know which ships and markets these changes touch and where they hit hardest for you. Scope and assumptions. Lines, markets, and what quiet means in 2026. Here's the scope so you know where this applies. We're focused on mainstream and premium lines sailing from the US, UK, and Australia. Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Norwegian, MSC Princess, and Celebrity. I'll call out Disney, Virgin, and Holland America, only where their practices differ in a meaningful way. Luxury brands like Regent, Viking, and Oceania play by different rules with more inclusions and fewer upsells. So most of these changes won't hit the same way. When I say quiet changes, I mean the tweaks buried in terms, app toggles, and menu footnotes, not banner headlines on the homepage. Policies can vary by region and even by ship class. Starlink-equipped ships behave differently than older hardware, and Princess's Medallion tech shifts timing on things like muster, dining, and delivery. Treat this as a 2026 playbook, then verify details in your app, on policy PDFs, and in current menus before you buy. If you spot a mismatch on board, assume execution drift, not bad intent from crew, and use documentation. Change one starts where every bill begins. Service charges and little fees that aren't little. Change number 1, dynamic service charges and fees, included, is shrinking. Did your daily service charge go up after you booked? That's a 2026 theme, and it's why included keeps shrinking, even when fares look the same. Most cruisers trust the confirmation email and stop there. Savvy cruisers prepay where allowed, keep receipts, and audit their folio mid-cruise so small leaks don't become a flood. Here's what's shifting. Lines reserve the right to adjust service charges by sail date, so a rate printed months ago can be higher when you sail. Menus now add delivery, room service, and late-night fees that stack on the daily pool. Expect variable room service pricing, a flat per-order fee of around $7–10, plus upcharges on items like wings or burgers, and a separate late-night surcharge. Specialty venues increasingly flag premium picks, lobster dry-aged steak, seafood towers, with 10–25 surcharges, and some ports add local tax that shows only while docked. This hits different travelers in different ways. Families feel it on midnight pizza, burger runs, and breakfast delivery for $4. One order fee multiplies fast. Solos feel it on per-order charges that don't scale. If mobility or sensory needs make crowded venues hard, paying for room service can be worth every penny. Be sure the fee buys real convenience, not just a tray. Line within a line enclaves like the Haven, Yacht Club, and the Retreat. Blunt some costs with included venues and priority seating, which can beat paying multiple surcharges all week. Take simple control steps. Prepay gratuities at booking if your line locks the rate when prepaid. Keep a PDF of the amount shown. Screenshot your invoice and any app screens that displays service charge language. On day 2 and day 5, open the app ledger and scan for duplicates like automatic gratuity, plus a separate service or delivery fee on the same meal. If you see stacking that doesn't match the policy page, visit guest services before the last night. Fixes are far easier on board than after you disembark. A practical pro tip you can use is to keep a tiny fee cheat sheet on your phone listing room service hours, late night surcharges, delivery fees, and venue exclusions so midnight cravings don't surprise you. The crew don't set these fees. Be polite, show documentation, and you'll get further. Now let's talk about the most emotional line item, the bar tab, and how changing rules make break-even math trickier for many everyday cruisers in 2026. Change number 2, beverage rules, dynamic pricing, cabin-wide requirements, new exclusions. That drink package sale you see in the app keeps sliding every few days, and that's not your imagination. The new pattern is dynamic pricing that nudges you to buy fast, then resets again. Most cruisers wait until they're aboard, or assume one adult can buy and the other can skip. Savvy cruisers track prices for 2 weeks, grab a real dip before sailing, and confirm cabin-wide rules on their line, so no one gets forced into a plan. In 2026, the rules tighten. Many lines now enforce, if one adult buys, all adults must buy, and exclusions bite. Starbucks outlets, mini bar, souvenir mugs, hand-on open bottles usually don't count. Expect port day taxes that the package doesn't absorb, especially in Europe, and stricter no-sharing enforcement at bars. Norwegian's Free at Sea still adds daily service charges on the free package, and Princess Plus or Premier bundles can beat a standalone package if you also want Wi-Fi and tips. Per each line's beverage policy, unlimited has limits, brand lists, per-drink price caps, and daily service add-ons. Play it smart. Watch the app for true lows instead of countdown timer noise, then lock it in. Onboard prices are typically higher. If you see a lower price later, some lines let you cancel and repurchase before sale date. If your cabin has 2 adults and only 1 drinks daily, run the numbers on a la carte plus a soda or coffee plan instead of triggering the cabin-wide rule. Bring the policy page to guest services if your cabin composition is mixed, like an adult and a teen, to avoid automatic add-ons. Let's do the math. A $79 per day package plus 18% service runs about $93 daily. With $13 cocktails, you need 7 drinks every day just to break even, and port days tank averages. Morning excursions, early bedtimes, or sea-day naps push the total down further. Non-alcoholic tiers can help if you drink specialty coffees and sodas all day. But for many families and sober cruisers, a la carte wins by a mile. Suite enclaves like the Haven, Yacht Club, or the Retreat include lounges with complimentary drinks at set times. Loyalty vouchers on Royal and Celebrity reduce your out-of-pocket before you buy anything. Pro tip, use your loyalty drinks and suite lounge first, then decide. Next up, connectivity brings faster Wi-Fi and surprise streaming paywalls and device caps. Change number 3. Wi-Fi and app first. Everything faster. If you pay, you'll see fastest internet ever on billboards in 2026, but the asterisk is where your bill grows. The common mistake is buying the top tier and expecting flawless Zoom and Netflix across devices. Do what savvy cruisers do. Buy the lowest plan that fits your needs, schedule work calls for port days, and treat ship Wi-Fi as messaging first, not mission critical. Here's what's changing. Starlink rollout boosts baseline speeds on many ships, yet lines are re-tiering with streaming add-ons, device caps, and session timeouts that bounce you every hour. Logins may reset, requiring frequent reauthentication during peak times. Some premium tiers still throttle video or block certain services unless you pay an upgrade. Expect app-first everything. Dining queues, show reservations, virtual lines for guest services, even spa waitlists. No app means more kiosk visits and longer lines, especially on embarkation day. By line, the experience varies. Royal's app is among the smoothest for dining times and show holds. Check in early and refresh for drops. Princess's Medallion platform drives must-do check-ins, location services, and even pizza delivery to your lounge. It's powerful when it works, but you'll want battery backup. MSC for me can be great on newer ships and inconsistent on older ones. Device limits matter. Many plans allow one device at a time. Adding a second device doubles cost, not speed. Evidence matters. Per recent cruiser surveys, many so-called premium plans still under-deliver for live video, so plan offline entertainment. Download maps, shows, playlists, and kids' content before embarkation. Turn off cloud photo backups, auto-updates, and Wi-Fi calling to stop background data from burning your allotment. If you absolutely must upload or hop on a call, carry an eSIM and hotspot in port. Cafes near the pier often beat satellite speeds by a mile. Accessibility and families have different needs. Use the app's chat feature to keep your group together. Request printed daily schedules, paper menus, and staff-assisted bookings. If screens are a barrier, complete digital muster early so you don't get flagged for an in-person lecture. Pro tip: screenshot reservations, boarding passes, QR codes, and your itinerary while you have a strong signal. If the app glitches, you still have proof. Tech changes are manageable once you plan around the friction. But dining is where quiet fees hide in plain sight. So let's look at how included meals are shifting. Change number 4. Dining shakeup. Extra entrees, late-night fees, and premium upcharges. Ordering a second main in the dining room used to be a fun flex. In 2026, it may show up as a line on your folio. The common mistake is assuming yesterday's included still applies. The pro move is to scan menus on day one. Taste what's included first and only then lock specialty reservations so fees don't outrun your appetite. Here's what's shifting. More lines now standardize a charge for additional entrees in the main dining room, limit lobster to one included portion, and tag certain dishes as premium with a $10-25 upcharge. Late-night bites that were free in select venues are pivoting to fee-based, and room service windows are narrowing with higher overnight surcharges. Policy may say complimentary, but footnotes carve exceptions for timing, items, and venues. Expect popular steak, tower, and sushi items to carry add-ons even inside packages. And remember, port day taxes can appear only while docked. Strategy beats surprises. Start with included venues. The MDR, buffet, cafe, and pool grill. Then decide if a specialty night is worth it. Specialty dining packages still exist, but once you add exclusions and premium items, a la carte with a pre-cruise discount often wins. If a venue tempts you, hold one prime reservation and leave the rest flexible. C-day promos and same-day openings are common. If you see an additional entree fee on the MDR menu or app, that's your cue to order smarter. Split starters, add a side or trade bites instead of doubling mains. Families should note kids' menus remain included, but allergy and dietary needs must be entered in the app early so the galley can plan. Accessibility matters too. Choose calmer dining rooms and earlier seatings to reduce waits and sensory load. Suite enclaves like the Haven, Yacht Club, and the Retreat preserve dedicated restaurants and priority seating. If you were planning multiple specialty nights, plus bar and Wi-Fi spend, a suite buy-up that includes dining access can be closer in cost than you think. For example, a family of 4 swapping 2 specialty dinners, covers and auto gratuities for a suite with an included venue can be roughly cost-neutral when the math includes time saved. Pro tip: book one marquee venue mid-cruise and watch for last-minute onboard promos on sea days. If in doubt, cite MDR policy blurbs and specialty menus for additional entree fees. Menus change on board. Ports are changing too, and new schedules and tendering rules increasingly reward planners. Change number 5, port time tenders and excursion rules. Buffers shrink, penalties grow. Your 8-hour port call can shrink to 6.5 once you add tender rides, security queues and walk times. Welcome to 2026. The common mistake is booking tight, independent tours with no return buffer. The pro move is adding 90 minutes to all aboard, picking small groups and getting a written back-to-ship time. What's changing is subtle but real. Speed limits near marine zones, shore power windows that lock arrival and departure, and congestion from bigger ships all compress usable hours. Queues move slower at peaks today. Tender priority is increasingly monetized through suite programs and paid early access passes, and cancellation windows for ship tours are tightening, with higher no-show penalties when you cancel late or miss muster. Expect more timed entry for marquee sites like Santorini, Amalfi, and select fjords. Slots go, crowds swell, and transfers take longer. Choose morning departures to beat heat and lines, or the last return before all aboard to maximize shore time. For tender ports, request the first or last waves. For pier ports, walk 3 blocks inland to escape commission-heavy shopping grids and find faster taxis. Book small group operators that cap at 6 to 12 guests, confirm the pickup and the back-to-ship buffer in writing, and show current insurance. Ask for a hard return deadline that is all aboard -90, and pay extra time if tendering or traffic is unpredictable. Per line excursion policies, ship-run tours usually auto-refund if canceled for weather. Independent tours should spell out refund or credit rules before you pay. A ship snorkel at $95 might be $60 direct, but if a van gets a flat and your buffer is gone, the last-minute water taxi can run a few hundred, and the ship will not wait for a private tour. That savings becomes stress and spend. If crowds are heavy or mobility is a concern, ship excursions cost more, but often deliver lift-equipped coaches, shaded staging, and coordination with the gangway. For risk-tolerant couples, a vetted small group independent can be fantastic value. As long as buffers are real, mind the penalties too. Many lines have moved to stricter cutoffs, think 24-48 hours, or even midnight the day before, for canceling ship tours without paying 100%. Miss muster and it's a no-show. Read your line's excursion policy page and set calendar alerts so you never learn about fees at the pier. We're halfway through these changes. Next up, we'll look at how the perks game is shifting in 2026. Quick check-in. Which of these shifts have you already noticed? Higher service fees, drink package rules, app-first reservations, or shorter ports? Drop a comment with your sailing date and line, and I'll keep the pinned comment updated with new 2026 changes as they roll out. If this is saving you money, tap like so more cruisers see it. Share one tip you use to dodge fees, and I may feature it in that pinned update. Keep watching, because the last 2 changes hit where it stings. Status perks that feel thinner, and checkout rules that quietly swap refunds for credit. Let's talk about loyalty devaluations next, and who actually wins in 2026. Change number 6. Loyalty perks and priority access. Quiet devaluations. Sweet wins your lounge line is longer, and your priority feels ordinary. That's the 2026 loyalty story. The common mistake is chasing status for benefits that keep shifting. The pro move: price the perk and compare it to a suite, buy-up or paid add-on that delivers the same without years of points. Overcrowding drives quiet changes. Popular tiers now hit capacity at cocktail hour, so lines limit access, shorten windows, or switch to drink voucher systems. Early boarding is sliced into more micro tiers, and unless you're top status or in a suite enclave, the real advantage can be minutes, not hours. Private events often move to app RSVP or lottery, so on paper it exists. In practice it's, sorry, for. Laundry perks tighten to per bag limits or discounts instead of unlimited. Internet minutes are being converted to lower value basic tiers that don't include streaming unless you pay to upgrade. This lands differently by traveler. Families rarely squeeze value from cocktail hours or quiet lounges. Kids want pools and shows. Couples may still love the pre-dinner perk if the lounge isn't slammed. Solos benefit from single-use vouchers, but cabin-wide rules don't help when you're one person paying double. Policy says priority. On board, crowding dictates how it feels. Suite enclaves are the real winners in 2026. The Haven MSC's Yacht Club and Celebrities Retreat bundle what many are chasing. A dedicated restaurant, a staffed lounge, priority tendering and embarkation, and a concierge who fixes issues without a queue. If you are planning to buy Wi-Fi, pay covers for specialty dinners, and hunt for lounge seats. A suite buy-up that includes dining, drinks windows, and faster lines can be better value than grinding to mid-tier status. Run the math like a buyer's guide. If you'll spend $300 on specialty dining and $200 on Wi-Fi, and a suite upgrade nets both plus priority services for $600 more, the net premium is closer to $100 when you factor what you'd buy anyway. If you rarely drink and don't mind lines, a standard balcony and a few a la carte add-ons may still win. Screenshot your loyalty benefits before sailing. If something is unavailable on board, show the policy page and ask, politely, for an equivalent like vouchers or a different time. Status is nice, but the priciest change happens long before you sail. At checkout, with one tiny click that changes everything. Change number 7, the big one. Refund rules and non-refundable fares become the default. One checkbox at checkout decides whether your money returns to your card or turns into store credit you may never use. The common mistake is picking the cheapest fare code without noticing it's non-refundable, and converts cancellations into future cruise credit with added change fees and blackout dates. The pro move is simple. Choose refundable when your dates aren't 100% firm, and set reminders for final payment and any reprice windows your line allows. In 2026, more sailings promote non-refundable deposit fares as the default deal. Price protection windows are shrinking, and cancellations increasingly route to FCC rather than cash. Name changes and date moves carry higher admin fees, and pre-cruise purchases, dining, Wi-Fi excursions, flip to non-refundable earlier on the calendar. Expect stricter no-cash refunds language for weather or itinerary changes, with goodwill gestures issued as FCC. Per line policy, refundable and non-refundable have different reprice rights. Confirm yours before you click. Booking through opaque OTAs adds friction. Any change must route through the agency, which can slow repricing, miss deadlines, or apply extra service fees. If you value flexibility, book direct or use a verified advisor you can reach quickly. Here's the math. A tweet out $500 non-refundable fare saves $120 today. If plans change, you owe change fees and end up holding $2,500 in FCC that expires, plus $350 of pre-purchased add-ons that are non-refundable. Flights, hotels, and time off add risk. A refundable fare at $2,620, paired with a comprehensive third-party travel insurance policy, often beats that gamble and pays cash when life happens. FCC often expires within 12 to 24 months, may be non-transferable, and can restrict fare codes, sailing dates, or name changes in practice. Personas matter. Families tied to school calendars and travelers with volatile work schedules should pay for refundable and sleep better. Frequent cruisers who sail several times a year can sometimes ride NRD discounts because they can redeploy FCC easily. International flyers should favor refunds to coordinate long-haul airfare and visa timing. Accessibility needs or medical uncertainty also favor refundable plus strong insurance. Solo travelers paying double occupancy should be extra cautious. Locking double the deposit into FCC hurts more. Pro tip: screenshot the fare code rules and cancellation schedule at checkout. Keep your invoice PDFs and calendar key dates, the advisor transfer window, final payment, last day to reprice, and the earliest point your add-ons become non-refundable. If you need to cancel, act before those thresholds. Be kind to the crew, they don't write these rules. Escalate politely with documentation to the onboard desk or the shore team if something doesn't match the policy page. You now know the 7 quiet changes that matter. Next, let's recap your action plan and where to look for more value. Recap and next step tease your 2026 action plan. Here's your 2026 cheat sheet. Lock service charges by prepaying when your line allows it, and audit your folio on day 2 and day 5. Buy drink packages only when the math works and the cabin-wide rule won't burn you. Use loyalty drinks first. Choose the lowest Wi-Fi tier that fits. Download maps and shows before you sail, and lean on a port hotspot for uploads. Sample included dining first, then book specialty smart. Watch for extra entrée fees and late-night charges. Build 90-minute buffers in tender ports. Confirm return times in writing, and favor groups with insurance. Treat status as optional. Price perks directly, or consider a sweet buy-up if it bundles dining, Wi-Fi and priority you'd pay for anyway. Above all, pick refundable fares when dates aren't firm, and document every policy you rely on with PDFs and screenshots. Follow this playbook and you'll dodge 7 changes, protect flexibility, and save $300–900 per cruise without cutting the fun. Next up, 2026 lines. Compared, which cruise brand fits your style and budget? We'll stack Royal, Carnival, NCL, MSC, Princess, and Celebrity by value. Cabins, dining, and tick, so you book the right ship the first time. Book smarter, cruise happier. See you there.